What up, YouTube? Today we're going to be doing some testing on my passenger rear window, and I thought it'd be a good video to make. Even though I did just do a video about the installation of this, I'm having an issue, and I also haven't made a video using the oscilloscope for a while, so I thought it'd be a good video to make on input and output testing for modules. So we're going to go ahead and dive in, do some diagnostic work, and see what's going on here. Alright, so we got an issue here. I'm going to turn the key to the on position. Actually, I'll just go ahead and start it, just so there's no question about it. This window, back passenger side, no longer rolling down, but if you listen real close, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I do hear a module relay clicking in here. So we're gonna investigate and see what's going on here. First, I gotta start by removing the B-pillar trim once again. And I've already kind of looked into it from my previous video. I might need a second hand or a pry tool for this one. Nope, here we go. But I've already kind of looked into it. I'll get the light on here. And I already know which wires we need to check. So we're going to be messing around in here with this module right here. We're going to be checking those wires, and I could just use a meter, but just for fun we're going to go ahead and use the oscilloscope. This is going to be a inputs and outputs testing type of video. Alright, so for this I'm going to try to do the testing with the scope and just using it as a meter. I know that makes it harder. There's no real reason to do that other than the fact that I need to practice doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and get all this equipment out. It's clearly getting a little dusty. Needs to get used. So let's go ahead and get it set up. Alright, so I've got the scope hooked up here with the scan tool. And over here, this red wire that goes into this connector here is the power in to the module. So in order to make sure everything's good with the module, that the module itself is getting power, we're going to go ahead and pin this, check for 12 volts. And as you can see, if I touch and release multiple times, we do have power to the module. So that is not an issue. So the next thing we want to do here is we want to find the white wire with the black stripe, which I do believe is this one here, and we want to check that one for an input when I try to roll the window down. So I'm going to go ahead and do that next, but in order to do that I'm going to need to go ahead and start the car. Alright, so I've got the engine running, and we're going to go over here to this one. We're going to touch it. We got nothing on the meter. I'm going to try to do this with only two hands. I'm going to hit the down. And we got some kind of activity there, but not what you'd expect. Okay, so I hit the window up, and it does something interesting. I'm going to try to push down. It's not really a response. When I push up, I'll push up and hold. Interesting. Okay. So we've clearly got an input. I feel pretty confident in that, even though it's only spiking up to maybe 3 or 4 volts. Okay, so I think I had my wires mixed up. If we hit the blue with the stripe here, and like I said, this is very difficult to do. Let me try to pin that somehow. I don't know if that's going to stay. Yeah, I may have to get a different clip to back probe this. Give me a sec here. So I got an angled T-pin, and I got it in that blue with black stripe cavity pretty good. And when we hit down, we got voltage there, and it's peaking out around battery voltage. Sorry that my screen's a little dirty. It's probably not focusing because it's trying to focus on the dust. Let's see, yeah, it tops out just around battery voltage, and that's the down. So we're definitely getting an output on the down, which is actually not the result that I expected to see. So we're gonna go ahead and put it on the opposite wire, so this should be the one for up. So we're getting outputs for both. And if I remember correctly, this was actually the one window motor that did not get replaced, so I'm wondering if there's a motor problem. Very interesting. Well, we can figure out, or we can, determine what we know so far. We know the switch is working because the switch is sending out a voltage to the module, which is then sending out a voltage to the window motor. And so I think we've pretty much just ruled out this entire part of the system. We know that the switch has good power and ground, and it's working properly because it is sending a signal to the module. If this switch wasn't working, we would have no output. This switch causes the input, and without an input, we have no output. So we've just determined that our inputs, our switch, our module, everything is good here. So the next thing we need to do is probably take off the door panel and determine if the motor itself is working properly. All right, so in about 0.5 seconds, we got the door panel off, we got a light set up, no biggie. So here is our window motor connector. And so what we're gonna do is back probe on this side. We're gonna press the switch. I still got the switch connected over here. So we're gonna go ahead and connect this over here. We'll just start with the yellow wire. We'll just kind of let that guy chill in there. Hopefully it's got a good connection. And then we'll try down. That did that. Up does nothing. Down does something. Wonder if we're getting a good connection in there. I'm gonna try to hold it. Give me 1 second, guys. Yeah, it doesn't change. Let's try the red one here. So the red one is for up, and the yellow is for down, I guess. There we go. Down, down, down. But see, what's weird is we're only getting like 4 volts, if that. That doesn't seem right. I wonder what we're getting on these wires. I hate to have to untape all of this shit here, but give me a minute and we'll find a test point. Guys, my last readings were throwing me off because my damn ground fell off, and I found out that this bracket here is a half decent ground if it stays on there, which it doesn't really want to. Maybe it'll lock on somewhere over here. Okay. And then we're gonna put this in on one or the other, doesn't really matter. And we'll hit a button and we'll watch the switch. Okay, we must have a bad ground. Maybe that'll work. Oh, this damn thing fell out. This is fun. Oh my god. Okay. Surely there's a good ground some damn where. I'm just not getting a good ground. There we go. This connector came slightly unplugged. But as you can see, I'm pushing down. And we're getting power every time. And it's near battery voltage, as you can see. That peak is hitting above 12 volts and the engine's running. So we're getting power there every time. I want to try one more test just to confirm. I'm going to use the power probe. I'm going to unplug this connector and I'm going to ground one side and I'm going to power the other. And we're going to see if this window motor will work or not. Alright, so we've got a ground wire here in the connector. We've got the power probe here hooked up. If I stick the power probe in this connector and I hit power, nothing happens. And the exact same thing happens if I switch it, nothing happens. However, if we go in here and we touch one of these pins, it's going to be hard to keep it right there. Then I hit the switch. We got a signal there. Then we go on the other pin. It's falling off. It's really hard to do this with one hand. That's down. Battery voltage popping up. Engine's running. So, needs a new motor, 100%. We've got inputs and outputs at the module, and we've also just sent direct power to the motor. Nothing is happening. So we definitely need a new motor. Well, I was looking through my spare parts and I found a motor, but unfortunately it's for the damn driver's side. So unfortunately, had to put the door panel back on for now. I'll probably get a new motor at some point. It's just a back window. Don't really roll that one down too much. I'm not one of those people that's going to just forget about it forever. We would definitely be fixing that window at some point. It's just that, fortunately, I don't have a motor on hand for it. And I did enough rolling around with my door panels off while that project was getting installed. Thankfully, it's not the 535T module, which is actually what I expected it to be. It's just a window motor, so that's cool. Unfortunately, the window motor is about $20 more expensive than the 535T and kind of more of a pain in the ass to replace if it's just the module. If it was the whole system, the motor would be a breeze compared to that, but since the wires are all wired up and everything, it would just be a simple unplug the old module, plug the new one in, you're good to go. So anyway, I was going to go ahead and do the motor as well, but since we don't have one, I'll just leave it at that with the diagnostic for today. So otherwise, if you like the video, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for me. Leave a comment below if you have anything you'd like to say. I definitely read all of those. Also, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I know there's a whole bunch of you out there that are watching that are not subscribed. If you could do that for me, that'd be an excellent favor. I'd appreciate that so much. Otherwise, please stay tuned for many more awesome videos on the Andy's Auto YouTube channel. This is Andy signing off.